situation. What we've now done is to take advantage of the liquidity that which is with the PSBs and the last mile consumer connect that the NBFCs have, so that PSBs can fast track collaboration for loans, particularly to the MSME. So the co-origination is the rules or the requirements of the banks will apply even in the context of an NBFC where the requirement probably do not exist or are harsher. So this will work together and bring in the synergy between the NBFCs and the banks, so that where the NBFCs are present, the banks' advantages will reach them, and where there are no NBFCs, the banks themselves can push it forward, and therefore this synergy we think will help in reaching out the end customer quickly with the liquidity which is sitting with the PSBs and the NBFCs which are nicely spread and available everywhere. So the co-origination is a very important measure which even the RBI has gone through, and we are convinced that it's going to work to the favor of the customers. The most important thing again, GST refunds for MSMEs. This was rampantly heard from a lot of MSMEs saying our refunds are stuck, we are not sure when we will get it, will you give it? Now I would want all of you all to please hear this out clearly. This is clearly time bound now. All pending GST refunds due to MSMEs till now, that is, shall be paid within 30 days. Everything that is pending since I don't know how many years, from the time of introduction, let us say, of the GST, from then till today, whoever has got a pending refund problem, it will be sorted out within 30 days from today. The government has worked very clearly to clear it all within 30 days. And from now, for future GST refunds, every refund for future GST refund matters will be sorted out within 60 days after it arises. For those which are pending till now, irrespective of 1 year, 6 months, 8 months, whatever, we commit ourselves to clear it within 30 days. And from now, anything which arises newly, within 60 days, the refund for MSMEs will be done, so that the MSMEs are not worried about money being stuck somewhere and they're not getting it. So that's cleared. The next one, TREDS you are aware of. Many of these companies are registered under TREDS, and the Prime Minister had very clearly announced, once I recall, that being in TREDS, if there are large companies who owe money to the MSMEs, and if they were in TREDS, that system enabled them, the moment they got into it, that they could discount their bills and get the money even if the company delayed it. TREDS enabled that. Now what we are telling is, for those companies which are registered and a part of the GST, if TREDS uses the GSTN facility, and for every bill that is certified or signature obtained under the GST, the same discounting will be available even for MSMEs, so they need not worry that GST paid, we paid GST tax, but we are not getting the payment from that company who owes us, for whom the supply has been made. So that company's money can now be obtained, because the bank will honor the moment the GST and signature is on it, and MSMEs will be benefiting similarly as many companies benefit out of TREDS. Now, TREDS and GSTN are working together. They can obtain information, and therefore the MSMEs can quickly discount their bills and get the money for their requirement. The next one is a point on MSME definition. That's been one of the worries of MSMEs who approached us. A single definition would serve them better rather than several definitions existing in different acts. So what we have committed here is the MSME Act. In fact, the discussions when it happened, Manya Nitin Gadkari ji was seated with us even as the consultation happened, and this issue was repeatedly raised. We are addressing that issue because the MSME Act will now go to the Cabinet with inputs taken from all of the ministries concerned, just so there is one definition One meaningful definition, which probably may not necessarily link it only to turnover, but might take plant and machinery and the optimal capacity and everything else on board and come up with one definition for MSME, through which companies now can feel a lot more at ease with their business activity. So that sooner will go to the Cabinet. The UK Sina Committee has come up with a lot of recommendations, many of which are already on board. We have taken it up and we are already, in fact, some of the suggestions that we've done here for the MSMEs are partly covered by the UK Sina Committee. We shall ensure decisions on recommendations such as on ease of credit, marketing, technology, delayed payments, etc. are all addressed at the earliest. So I want to assure you that many of them have already become a part of what we are speaking about today, but others in the UK Sina Committee report will be taken up. The next we move over to the next silo, which is increasing capital flows and energizing financial markets. And this is also very much in line with what has been indicated in the budget speech. We know that in India, and all of you are equally aware, that in India there is a need for deepening bond markets. And because of that, a lot of issues arise for want of capital and so on. I'll very quickly go through the measures we've already started taking so that bond markets in India get strengthened. In order to improve access to long-term finance, it is proposed to establish an organization to provide credit enhancement for infrastructure and housing projects, particularly in the context of India not having a developmental bank, and also therefore need for us to have an institutional mechanism. This will come of great help. So this would enhance debt flow towards such projects. The name of the organization will be in a day or two revealed, but that organization will take care of providing credit enhancement facility for infrastructure and other housing projects. The government would soon take further action on development of credit default swap markets in consultation with the RBI and SEBI. In order again to improve domestic markets in bonds, Ministry of Finance will work with the RBI to make it more conducive for investors and for bond issuers, as well as facilitate increased trading for price discovery, a lot more open market-driven kind of a price discovery mechanism. Government has amended the Companies Act, you all know, to remove requirement for creation of debenture redemption reserve, the DRR, of outstanding debentures in respect of listed companies, NBFCs, and for the HFC. Again, continuing on the capital flows, access of Indian companies to the global market. The Depository Receipt Scheme of 2014 is expected to be operationalized soon by SEBI. This will give Indian companies increased access to foreign funds through the ADR and GDR. And this is something which repeatedly industry kept referring to us when they came in for consultation. We've clearly yielded on that, and we shall organize ourselves in order to be able to service this. The next is use of Aadhaar-based KYC. Again, a big suggestion which has come during consultations. The consultation that we had with industry, with others, this has come out as one of the big demands. In order to improve market access for the domestic retail investors,